So the year was 1986, and I had been bumming around Los Angeles for the past few weeks. And my friends and I had scraped together some money and had flown to the Bay Area to see the Grateful Dead play a show on New Year's Eve at the Oakland Coliseum. But by now my friends had all long since flown home. But my plan was to buy a car and stay in LA till my money ran out, and then drive back across the country to my home in Tennessee. So I bought a 1968 baby blue Volkswagen Beetle in moderate condition from a lovely woman I met through the classified ads, and I had been sleeping in the back of the car in a cramped ball for the past few nights parked on the beach. I wasn't ready to go home, but I thought it might be time for a change of scenery, and above me were the beautiful canyons of Malibu. So I trundled up a randomly selected canyon until I found sort of a wide gravel pullout. And I was tired from trying to sleep in the back of a Volkswagen and hungry from having rationed my food and money as much as possible. And the only food I had left was a sleeve of stale saltines, and in the back, in a styrofoam cooler, was a half-eaten package of hot dogs floating in some tepid water that was once ice. Now, the pale color and sour aroma of the hot dogs gave me pause. But with my rudimentary knowledge of food safety protocols, I figured that if I could build a fire and just cook these hot dogs to a char, it would probably kill whatever was in there that could probably kill me. So I built a small fire from the limited amount of scrap wood I could find laying around, and I threw in the hot dogs and I cooked them till they were blackened and pustuled, and I picked them out carefully with a stick, and after sort of stripping off the worst bits of charred hot dog skin, I ate them. Now, chased with saltines, they weren't bad. So during this process, there had been an intermittent stream of vehicles coming up and down the canyon road. And every car seemed to have an opinion of my activities. Now, some cars honked, not just that short sort of, hey buddy, beep. These were long, every syllable drawn out sentence honks with exclamation points. Some rolled down the window just enough to shout some profanity. Some just slowed down to see the show, I guess. I don't know if you've ever been to Malibu, but it didn't exactly fit the socioeconomic profile of someone who should be there. I had long hair, a scruffy beard, a 1968 baby blue Volkswagen Beetle in moderate condition, dirty jeans, a flannel shirt, and I was eating charred hot dogs on the side of the road. But being something of a bohemian, I was used to being hassled by the man. I didn't think anything of it. So now it's starting to get dark, and the fire had gone out because there's nothing to burn, and I thought this would be a perfect time to smoke some weed. Now, I had about a joint's worth of marijuana wrapped in a cellophane from a pack of cigarettes in my left breast pocket of my flannel shirt. But I was saving that for later because I didn't know when I was going to get weed again. And I was certain there was a roach in my ashtray from the previous night's indulgence. So while I'm digging between the cigarette butts in my ashtray, looking for this roach, headlights appear behind me. Now, I'd seen several headlights come and go, so I didn't think much of it. And I actually appreciated the extra light while I was trying to find this elusive roach. So, all of a sudden, put your hands out of the vehicle where I can see them. Uh-oh, the police. So I did as instructed. Step out of the vehicle and place your hands behind your head. Again, I did as instructed. And a man and a woman officer get out of the car and they approach me. And the woman puts me in cuffs and forces me up against the hood of the squad car, and she kicks my legs apart, and I realize I was about to be searched, and I panic. The weed. So she patted my ankles, she patted my pants pockets and my waist, she patted my right breast pocket, and my stomach dropped about 10 stories. I could hear it in my mind, that little crunching sound that little piece of cellophane was going to make when she finally patted the left pocket. And she reached over and she stopped. She skipped the left breast pocket. So she spun me around and began scolding me about wildfires in the canyon or something. I don't know. I was still reeling from what could only be described as divine intervention on my behalf. So while all this was happening, the other officer was just eviscerating my car. All my stuff was out in the gravel. Now, I may have been mistaken about that roach because he didn't find it either. But after a brief interrogation as to why a young man from Tennessee was camping in the Malibu canyons, I was told to move along or they were going to arrest me for vagrancy. So I trundled back down the canyon, back to the beach for another cold, cramped night in the back of the 1968 baby blue Volkswagen Beetle in moderate condition, and I left for home a few days later. I never did find that roach.